Why peace? The world will tell you this is what the world needs, this is what the world needs, this is what the world needs. But 7 billion people on the face of this earth are crying out for one thing and one thing alone, and that is peace. And peace is not the absence of war. I travel not because I like to travel. I travel so I can say this. What you're looking for is inside of you, and you should be in peace.
Prem Rawat has been traveling for 40 years, inspiring people around the world to find peace within.
Buenos dias, shalom, buongiorno, guten tag, bonsoir Montreal. I go and I talk to people, and I present them with the possibility of themselves discover the peace that lies within you. Do you know how many things there are that even dare to be there for the rest of your life? I don't know, but I know one: knowledge. This is what it promises till the very end.
I'm Steve Brenman. I live in Kingston, Surrey, which is just on the outskirts of London. I run a company that does short-term residential apartments and rents them out largely to business people on a short-term basis.
My name is Bahia Zahnan. I am from Lebanon. I live in a very beautiful village. It's small, but it is clean and calm. I am the president of the Association Center of Human Culture, which has the ability of helping with education for the women that didn't have a chance to reach high school.
My name is George Smith. I live in Columbia, Missouri. I'm an attorney, and I think of myself today as a problem solver.
I appreciate that the two of you could work for the best interest of your daughter. I mean, really, there are not many people can do that.
And I farm on the side. People jokingly refer to me as a hobby farmer. It's something that I've always loved doing. It sort of helps me preserve some of my sanity as sort of a counterweight to the law practice.
I think we're done.
I received knowledge in 1975. At that time, I was very much yeah, I can see how that might be all right for you, but I'm all right, actually. You know, I don't really want this or need this. And a lot of my friends were just going and listening to people talking about Meraji's knowledge and finding out about it. One night, one of them went and, for what I thought were particularly narrow-minded reasons, decided he wasn't going to follow it up. So without even telling him, I went the next night. It was sort of in order to prove to him how narrow-minded he was, I'll go, just to prove it, you know. And that was it, really, for me, because as soon as I got into that room and people were talking, something inside of me felt very comfortable, felt at home, felt, yeah, I get this, I get this. Greta and I first met in one of these evenings. She was a bit of a searcher and a seeker. And like me, it rang some bells, and the way she described it was she felt comfortable and good with it and made a commitment to herself that I'll stay with this as long as it still feels good to me.
I received knowledge 28 years ago. I was looking for something else in this life. I had a good husband, I had a good son, beautiful, he was small. I have good house and everything. But I was feeling very empty inside of me. I met suddenly a girl, and she asked me what you are doing in life. I told her I'm doing nothing now. I want to be fulfilled. I want to be happy. I want to know why I am here in this world. I don't need anything else. If you can tell me what she said to me, you should meet Maharaji. He can show you a way to go inside of you and feel that happiness and that fulfillment. I got extremely amazed and started focusing only on this.
I received knowledge in, I believe, October of '72. I was searching for something. I wasn't sure what it was, but I was pretty sure that the world as I perceived it was kind of crazy, and there had to be something more. I recognized that I had a need to be satisfied in my life. And so I was intrigued enough to say, well, if he's making an offer to me, then let me see what he's offering.
The thing that practicing knowledge and taking advantage of Maharaji's wisdom has really given me throughout is a very clear set of very real values that are mine. And in those values, the most important thing is that I'm as connected and as fulfilled and as happy as I can be today. Let me not paint a picture that's too rosy, because one comes and goes with this. Sometimes it's clearer and sometimes it's not so clear. And when it's not so clear, you struggle. But I think over the years, what happens is you build up an accumulation. If I'm true to myself, I build up an accumulation of perspective about what has actually worked, you know. And what works is being happy and being in love and being together as you can and being kind and being... And the best way I know to do that is to be practicing knowledge.
When I received knowledge, I started talking to my husband about knowledge. After 2 years, he received knowledge. And then when my son grew up, he decided also by himself to receive knowledge. He was almost 20 years. We passed by very beautiful days, and my son used to tell me, Mom, we are the most happiest family in the world because we live in peace.
After I had been shown the techniques, my initial reaction was really one that was quite dismissive. I was not impressed, so I just went home, you know, and just continued on with my life. And I remember that it was about 6 months, about a 6-month period went by. And this thirst or this need or this desire or this feeling of there has to be more didn't subside. But I got to the point of saying, okay, I have to give it a good faith effort. And if it's fake, I'll know it's fake. I'll find out. And then I'll be able to discard it and I'll move on. And I'll keep on my quest to find something that satisfies this feeling I have inside. And I've never quit. It exceeded all of my expectations. It offered more than I could have ever imagined.
Greta had been suffering for a while with various symptoms throughout the whole of that year, which was 2006. Soon after, we discovered she had a very rare cancer, and at that point, we were counting the days.
Some kind of cynical part of my mind thinks, oh, you know, you've been told you've only got a few more weeks, possibly months, and I can feel within my body that I'm being overwhelmed by illness. And so part of my cynical mind might say, oh, you're going to get hit by a shock, you know, you're going to get frightened. But today, I'm not. Today, I feel I've had such a life. I feel truly blessed, and my life is full.
After 2 years, my husband started feeling bad. It was cancer on his lungs. Everything is okay, everything is good, and suddenly you feel as the earth shaked you. But even in this hard moment, I felt something in me helping me and making me in peace and calm. As also my son and my husband too. Even the doctors, the nurses used to come to visit my husband, to visit us every day, and they said, when we come to your house, instead of coming to making you in peace, you make us in peace. We feel so comfortable, we don't want to leave here.
I had a small wound in my leg from a farm injury, and it had formed a small knot underneath the skin. And I went in and had it removed, and it was the size of a golf ball, and it was malignant melanoma, and it was an aggressive form. As one doctor later told me, you have the bad actor of a bad actor. You know. And then, you know, if it is spread beyond that point, which odds are that it had, you're looking at 15% survival in 2 years. I get to a certain point where I feel like I kind of understand, and I find something that's just beyond imagination. I'm having this amazing experience, and I'm going to die, and that just didn't seem fair. It was like, don't I get more years to enjoy this?
Greta wanted to see Meraji. She'd never really had the opportunity to talk to him, and she got to see him, and it was a very, very powerful meeting for her. And I think for him, because he talked about it quite a lot afterwards.
And when she met with me, she expressed her gratitude for having this gift of knowledge. This is not just a promise, this is a fact, as it was for her, as it is for thousands of people. Because knowledge will be there for you. She had been told, it's over. She had been told, it's over. Still, going inside and feeling that place, it does not abandon you. You remember that saying, even in your darkest hour, I will not abandon you? It is true, you are not abandoned.
Meraji held a relatively small meeting with people who were either very ill or very elderly. And because Greta was obviously very seriously ill at that point, she received an invitation to that event. She was within weeks of passing away. And I think she felt it was the last time she was going to see him.
After my husband passed away, my son had a very severe crash accident, and he passed away at the same moment. I just lost my husband, and now I'm losing my only son. I had extreme of sorrow. But at the same time, I had this knowledge. I focused the technique that Maharaji taught me, and slowly, slowly, I start feeling calm. I start feeling good. I start feeling accepting, surrendering, and understanding that this life has everything. And the shelter inside protect you of everything outside. Logically, with tears coming down, but I was very, very quiet, and people came in the funeral and asked, why did you give her so much medicine? She stopped, she doesn't do anything, only crying. She should cry, she should scream, she should do something like this. She isn't, let her do, let it. No, we didn't give her anything, she didn't accept anything. There is a grace, some grace involving her. And I am very thankful to knowledge and this great master that helped me and still helping me.
A friend of mine who I go to events with a lot, we had made plane reservations to go to the Shrine Auditorium event. He said, well, no, you got to go. I'm like, but Peter, you know, like, I've got this really serious problem. And he says, no, you just need to come. So I went to the event, and I had been to events where Meraji did the expressions, and it never even crossed my mind. I may never, this may be my last event. I may never get back here. And this man has had a very profound effect on my life. And I would like to tell him.
Good evening, Meraji. I recently received a bad medical diagnosis, and I don't know the prognosis yet, but it could lead to the great thrill. The way I was raised, the concept of a living master was never a possibility. And the concept of knowing one's heart was not a reality. Listening to you changed that in my life. You've been a superb teacher, Maraji. You've been my master. You've been my friend. And I want to thank you from the depths of my heart for all you've done for me. Thank you.
You're welcome. It's not over yet. It's not over yet. Let's put up a good fight. But what you said to me, I mean, what can I say? But it's, I think, the most incredible thing that could ever be said to somebody that does this.
One of the things that I know Greta was saying towards the end was, I just want to have the best day I can possibly have. The fact that she was able to refer back and she still could practice. She still could practice and she could still reach that point of inner peace, that point of inner comfort, that point of silence, stillness inside of herself. And enabled her to better accept the things that were occurring in her life.
When I practice knowledge in the day, it resonates. Just by doing it, just by having that practice, I have an experience. But there's a resonance and an echo that stays with me throughout the day, and it brings a clarity and an ease or a quality of contentment that washes off, you know, that smooths the edges for the rest of the day. I notice there's a different nuance to a day when I've practiced knowledge. And to just go, this is my life, has limitations, there are some awful things happen, stressy moments happen, but essentially I have a foundation that's very clear, dead simple, and works for me.
She carried her connection to her inner quiet and to her inner calm all the way to the point where she lost consciousness.
My mother, when she saw me reacting in this calamity, very calm, with so much surrendering, with so much acceptance, she got very interested in knowledge. She said to me, it's the greatness of knowledge. I need this knowledge.
عمري 89 سنة. صرت كبيرة بالعمر، ما عادش بهمني إلا بدي نام وبدي قوم وبدي في معلم وهيك هذا قلبي من جوا هيك هاتف بدي أخذ المعرفة، وأخذت المعرفة وكنت مبسوطة كتير ومرتاحة، وبعدني مرتاحة لحد هلا ما عاد عندي هم أبدا. بالأخص بعد ما أخذت المعرفة صرت ما عدت خاف من الموت ولا شيء أبدا. بأيام الحرب كأني بأيام السلم، ما هزني شيء أبدا أبدا.
Here I come back from the Shrine Auditorium event, and I'm probably having the most incredible quality of life I've ever had in my life. We come back, they scan me with all the technology they have, and they say, we can't find anything. You're clean. Okay. And the doctors were like, you got a great attitude, man. You got a good immune system. You're your own best ally. You know, there's nothing we can do for you except check you out.
It's hard to imagine that during Greta's illness, how I would have had the consistency and the strength that I needed to play the part that I clearly needed to play without having knowledge there every day to practice.
I'm so glad I managed to stick around because it works. This whole practice of knowledge and listening to Maraji speak and learning and having this journey, my life, go and track with him, follow in his wake. He's got a perspective and is offering a perspective in life and an opportunity to journey with a certain clarity. And I'm following that and have taken it on board in my life. And I've managed to stay with it. And I really feel the benefits of it. My heart is really full. And with that full heart, I want to say thank you. I want to say I'm so happy and lucky.
When I would tell people the story about the diagnosis and what I went through, invariably the reaction from everybody was, that must have been a living hell. And it was hard to say to them, well, you know, actually it was a living heaven for me. It was some of the most incredible days of my life were around that diagnosis. We can experience things in our life that no one prepared us for. No one told us was possible. At least for me, no one did except Raji. Raji said, this is possible. I've never had anybody tell me that was possible and give me the means to access it. That's even more incredible.
Although I passed by many difficult situations in my life, I could understand there is acceptance, surrender, and this is the nature of life. And people can see this. Wherever you are calm, you are in peace, you are happy. So this is the power of knowledge. It's emanate from inside of you. Doesn't need to wait a special, strong moment to show the power of knowledge.
ما عادش بدي شيء أبدا. هذه الجنة بحد ذاتها المعرفة. بس يعرف إنسان.
I feel very, very heavily invested in practicing knowledge at the moment. And it's delivering for me as high a level of inner comfort and inner strength and inner peace as I've ever had in my whole life today with this breath. Even though this particular physical run of events wasn't what I would have asked for or wanted or chosen in any way, in that stillness, which is my connection to knowledge, is a certainty that all is well. I couldn't explain it to you, but in that place, it's okay. With or without the explanations, with or without the answers, whether or not it went my way or not. And I'm not talking about mental aerobics either, convincing myself. I couldn't convince myself, it's too overpowering. Just, it's okay. It's okay. That's a real blessing. To have that conscious perspective is a real, rare blessing. And I feel very grateful for that.
Go inside and know that you have found the unwavering joy. The joy that can be there for you for the rest of your life. In some people's life, this time has come and gone. And how was it? Well, let me tell you the good news. Yes, knowledge was there for them till the very last breath.